The Intern in Britain webinar for students applying through a placement service, brought to you by BUNAC. Hello everyone, my name is Adam Janaway and I'm going to walk you through the steps of applying to BUNAC's Intern in Britain program. So, who are BUNAC and why do you need to make an application with us? Well, as you're applying to come to the UK to carry out an internship, you need to apply for a visa. A visa is a travel document, usually affixed to your passport, that will allow you to enter and remain in the UK for a fixed period of time. You cannot travel to the UK without a visa. In order to apply for a visa from your home country, you first need to be sponsored, and that's where we come in, as the UK's largest sponsor of the Tier 5 government authorised exchange visa. That's the visa that you'll be applying for at the end of your process with us. As a visa sponsor, we have to make sure that you as an applicant and your proposed internship employer meet our eligibility requirements, which we'll cover in just a moment. But before we go any further, allow me to more formally introduce myself and my team here at BUNAC. As I mentioned, my name is Adam Janaway. I'm the Operations Manager here at BUNAC and oversee the delivery of all of our programs. My colleagues Gowrie Joshi and Lee Sweeney work specifically on the Intern in Britain program here in our UK office, and Lubka Jacobs oversees our US office, based in Phoenix, Arizona. So let's dive right in and take a closer look at the BUNAC eligibility requirements. If after this webinar you feel you may not be eligible for the program, please contact us to go through your situation. The good news is that as you're applying with a placement service, these requirements have likely already been referenced. You should be 18 years or older, be a full-time degree level student or recent graduate, hold nationality outside of the European Economic Area, be able to meet all BUNAC required document standards, which we'll go through in a moment. You must not have completed the same internship before, and you cannot have applied for BUNAC sponsorship more than once before. Your internship can be a maximum of 6 months in duration. It should be at least 25 hours of work per week. It should be a supernumerary position, which just means it needs to be specifically designed for an intern to complete. It should include complex activities rather than routine tasks, a good level of rotation and clear objectives backed up with a detailed training plan. Include sufficient supervision from the employer. In most cases, that means a full-time staff to intern ratio of at least 5:1, and the company should be registered with Companies House for at least the previous 12 months. So once you know that you're eligible, the first step will be to apply on our website, www.bunac.org. Once you arrive on the website, select the country that you live in and navigate to the Intern in Britain program. Here you'll be able to find out lots of other information about the program, and once you're ready, you can scroll to the bottom and select Book Now. From here you'll be asked to provide your email address, a password, a phone number, and tell us where you're applying from. You will then select that you would like to apply to the Intern in Britain program and select Apply. You will then follow the steps and fill out the application form, filling in all mandatory fields. Pay close attention to the placement company field. Here you will select the placement company that you are applying through. Please also note that it will ask you for some internship details. If you are unsure of your internship details yet, you can put TBC or estimate the information. Please also note you cannot apply from within the UK, and if you answer yes to any of the criminal background questions, your application will be put on hold and BUNAC will contact you to discuss your options. Next, you'll be directed to choose whether you would like to include a BUNAC insurance policy with your application. Please check with your placement provider if they are providing your insurance coverage and select appropriately. After reading the terms and conditions and filling in the declaration, you will then be taken to the payment screen. If you select that your placement provider will be paying the fee on your behalf, your application will be complete. If you will be making the application payment, you can make that on the following page. Once the payment has been processed, you can go back to your online account, which outlines all of the next steps. The first thing that I recommend you do is watch the orientation video. It's a short video. If you follow the link from your online account and watch it all the way through and then fill out the declaration and submit, this will be checked off on your online account. It is a mandatory part of your sponsorship and provides useful information about the UK. You should then upload your supporting documents. Please first talk with your placement provider about which documents they may be providing or uploading on your behalf. Please ensure that your passport is valid for travel and has at least 3 consecutive pages and is signed by you in the appropriate place. If you are not a citizen of the country you are making your application from, such as a Chinese student applying from the USA, you will also need to provide a copy of the visa that allows you to reside in the country you are applying from. Your current CV or resume should have your up-to-date contact details and list recent education and work history. Your insurance will need to show coverage for the dates of your trip and a minimum coverage of $500,000 US medical and some cover for repatriation of remains. Your reference letter can be from a college advisor or professor or an employer. A template for a reference form can be found in the Supporting Documents Handbook located on your online account. Your proof of support funds should be a recent bank statement printed within 30 days of submission, showing at least $1,500 in a checking or savings account that you can access. If you're applying from outside of the USA, you will need to show a bank statement which demonstrates you have a balance of more than £945 for the last 90 days. In either case, if you do not have available funds, you may submit a guarantor bank statement with a letter from the account holder. A template for this letter can also be found in the Supporting Documents Handbook on your online account. If English is not your first language, you will need to provide certified proof of your English language ability. For this, we look for an IELTS certificate issued within the last 24 months with a score of 6.0 or above. If you are making your application from the USA, we can also accept the proof that you used to gain admission to a US college or institution. You will also see a section of your online account called the Employer Application and Agreement. Again, you will need to check with your placement provider if they will be sending this link to your employer or if you should send it directly. You will do this by entering your employer's email address into this section and clicking Send Employer Application and Agreement. By doing this, your employer will receive an online form from us to fill out and they will submit it directly back to us here at BUNAC for review. Once you've completed all the mandatory items on your online account, uploaded all of your documents, and we've received your employer application and agreement, BUNAC will then carry out a full screening on your employer and your training program. This process, under standard processing times, can take up to 10 business days. If you choose priority processing with BUNAC at the point of payment, this could take up to 5 business days. When complete, we will email you with your certificate of sponsorship. This is the document that you'll need to apply for the Tier 5 visa. Please read over the certificate of sponsorship carefully to ensure your details are listed correctly, and let us know if there are any problems. Please also note the valid until date only refers to the expiry of the certificate. You shouldn't be alarmed by this date. Along with the certificate of sponsorship, we will also attach full instructions on applying to the UK consulate for the Tier 5 visa. You will make the application for this online, pay the visa fee directly to the UK consulate, and book an appointment at a regional biometric centre. You will then attend that appointment with your application materials for validation and have your fingerprints and picture taken, and then return home to mail your application to the consulate in New York. This process may vary for those applying to the program from outside of the USA. It usually takes around 10 business days for applications to be processed at the consulate, though there are priority options and they are also explained in the instructions. Once you have received the visa back from the UK consulate, you will be ready to travel to the UK. Please talk with your placement provider about flights and accommodation. If they are not advising or providing those for you, contact BUNAC and we'll be happy to help. After you arrive in the UK, you will need to log back into your BUNAC online account and fill out the UK entry form. This will also require you to upload a copy of the visa in your passport. Please do this as soon as is possible upon arriving in the UK. For every subsequent month that you're in the UK, you are also required to fill out a monthly check-in form on your online account. Filling in both of these forms are conditions of your sponsorship. And that's it. That's the entire process of the BUNAC Intern in Britain program from start to finish. I know that may be quite a lot of information to digest right away, but I hope it gives you a thorough understanding of the process. Please contact us with any questions you might have. We are always ready to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the UK soon.